Welcome to today's deep dive, where we're going to be looking at agricultural software.
Okay.
It's really interesting to think about how tech is changing the way we grow food.
Yeah.
And we have some really cool material to look at from Insoftex,
Right.
which is a company that specializes in Agritech solutions.
I see.
They've got a great overview of all this stuff, from
Yeah.
like managing your crops to monitoring livestock.
It really is amazing like how software has become like as important as like tractors and combines.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
really changing things.
So, for those of us who haven't spent a lot of time on a farm,
Right.
can you kind of break down what exactly agricultural software is? Like, what
Sure.
kinds of problems is it helping to solve?
So you can imagine a farmer who's trying to keep track of hundreds of acres
Yeah.
of crops all at the same time, and they all have different needs for water, fertilizer, pest control. It's just a massive amount of information.
Right.
Agricultural software kind of steps in to give them a hand. You can think of it like a bunch of digital tools that are designed to really streamline like every aspect of farming.
So instead of handwritten notes and intuition, they can actually use software to make better decisions.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So there are different types of software for different needs.
Right.
So like management software helps to track crop growth, soil conditions, weather patterns.
Yeah.
Accounting software handles all the finances, obviously.
Makes sense.
And operation software helps to optimize things like irrigation and fertilizer application.
I'm starting to see how this is a big deal for farmers.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of curious about the tech behind it all.
Sure.
Insoftex mentions things like IoT and cloud-based systems. Can you explain what those are and how they actually work on a farm?
Yeah, so IoT stands for the Internet of Things.
Okay.
Basically, it's like connecting everyday objects to the internet
Got it.
so they can all send and receive data. So on a farm, this could look like sensors in the fields that are collecting information about the soil, moisture, temperature, and even like the health of individual plants.
Wow.
And then this data is all sent to a central hub, which is often a cloud-based system where it can be accessed and analyzed by the farmer.
So it's like having this constant stream of information going from the field to their computer or their phone.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, and this real-time data allows for much more precise and efficient decision-making.
Okay.
So like, for example, if a sensor detects that a certain area of the field is getting too dry,
Yeah.
then the farmer can adjust the irrigation system.
Okay.
Save water, make sure the crops are getting what they need.
That sounds super efficient. But
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's not just about collecting data.
Right.
And Softex also talks about things like data analytics and predictive analytics.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference and how are those being used in agriculture?
So data analytics is all about taking all that raw data from the sensors and turning it into useful insights. So like looking for patterns and trends,
Oh, okay.
analyzing historical data on weather patterns and crop yields can help farmers make better decisions.
So learning from the past to improve the future kind of thing?
Exactly. And predictive analytics takes that a step further.
Right.
It uses really complex algorithms and machine learning to make predictions about what might happen in the future.
Wow.
So this could be anything from forecasting crop yields to predicting pest outbreaks, even estimating market prices.
That sounds like almost having a crystal ball for your farm.
Yeah, kind of.
How accurate are these predictions, though? And what are the limitations?
So predictive models, they are really powerful tools,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not foolproof.
Okay.
They're based on, historical data and assumptions.
Yeah.
So unexpected events can definitely throw them off.
Like extreme weather.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But, as they become more sophisticated and incorporate more data, their accuracy will continue to improve.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of potential here.
Yeah.
But also some things to watch out for.
Yeah.
Now I can totally see how all this is good for farmers. But what about the rest of us?
Mm-hmm.
How does agricultural software impact the food that we eat and the environment?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
The benefits actually go way beyond the farm.
Okay.
So by optimizing resource use, cutting down on waste and improving crop yields,
Yeah.
It contributes to a more sustainable and efficient food system.
Got it.
And this can lead to lower food prices, a smaller environmental footprint, and even a safer food supply.
So it's not just about farmers becoming more tech savvy.
Right.
It's about using tech to address these big challenges facing our food system.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, Insoftex gives some examples of specific agricultural software solutions
Okay.
that are already making a difference. Let's
Yeah.
take a look at those.
Sure.
What are some of the standout companies or platforms that they mentioned?
So one really great example is the John Deere Operations Center,
Oh,
which is this like comprehensive platform that integrates a wide range of data sources,
Okay.
from equipment sensors to satellite imagery, to give farmers this real-time view of their operations.
wow.
It's like a command center for the modern farm.
So instead of like walking the fields, they can just sit at their computer and see everything that's happening.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's amazing.
And this level of insight lets them make better decisions about everything,
Yeah,
from planting and fertilizing to harvesting and marketing.
incredible.
Hmm.
Then there's Trimble Agriculture,
Yes.
which seems to be all about precision farming.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about what they do?
So Trimble specializes in GPS-guided equipment and software solutions
Okay.
that help farmers to optimize every aspect of their operations.
Okay.
Like their software can create detailed maps of the fields,
Wow.
showing variations in soil type elevation and crop health.
Mm-hmm.
So this allows them to apply things like water and fertilizer with pinpoint accuracy,
Okay.
minimizing waste, maximizing efficiency.
So Trimble is all about efficiency and precision.
Exactly.
What about AgriSync?
Yes.
They seem to be doing something a little different, focusing on communication and support.
That's right.
Yeah.
So AgriSync acts as a communication platform connecting farmers with, agronomists, equipment dealers, other advisors.
Got it.
So it's kind of like a virtual help desk for farmers.
Okay.
So if a farmer runs into a problem in the field,
Yeah.
they can use AgriSync to get advice from an expert in real time.
That's like having a team of experts on call all the time.
Right.
That's got to be valuable.
Yeah, especially for farmers that, don't have easy access to these kinds of resources.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got John Deere focusing on data and analytics,
Mm.
Trimble on precision farming, and AgriSync on communication and support.
Yeah.
These are just a few examples of all these companies in the agritech space.
It's really amazing.
And speaking of innovation, Insoftex isn't just observing all this.
Yeah.
They're actually taking part. So let's dive into their role and the specific solutions that they're developing in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
So it's really cool to see how Insoftex is like in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
They're not just like talking about the tech.
Right.
They're actually making solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's really cool about Insoftex is that they seem to get that, every farm is different.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just like a one-size-fits-all software,
Yeah.
they really work with their clients to build, custom solutions.
So it's like more of a partnership than just like buying a software package.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They really, dive deep into the operations, understand what the challenges are,
Yeah.
and then they design software that, really works well with what they're already doing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they mentioned a bunch of different solutions on their website, like
Right.
mobile apps for crop management and livestock monitoring platforms.
Yes.
Let's start with the mobile apps.
Okay.
Like, what kind of features do these apps actually give to farmers?
So imagine you have all your farm data in your pocket, accessible at any time.
Yeah.
These apps, they provide real-time tracking of everything.
Okay.
Soil, moisture, weather forecasts, pest and disease alerts.
So they don't have to constantly check all these different sources. They can
Right.
just see it all on their phone.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's not just monitoring.
Right.
Some apps even let you control irrigation systems,
Yeah,
track fertilizer applications, generate reports.
exactly. All from their phone.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It seems like it would save so much time and hassle.
Yeah, definitely.
What about these livestock monitoring platforms?
Okay.
Is that like putting sensors on cows?
You're not too far off, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they use IoT sensors,
Um,
often attached to the ear tags or collars,
Got it.
to collect data on the animal's health, their behavior, and location.
So like a Fitbit for cows?
Kind of, yeah.
What kind of data can those sensors actually collect?
Think of it like taking the animal's pulse, but all the time. So they can track things like body temperature, heart rate, activity levels, even their grazing patterns.
Wow.
And this data lets farmers know if there's a potential health issue early on.
Before they even notice anything.
Sometimes, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it also helps to optimize things like feeding and breeding programs.
So you have healthier, more productive livestock.
Exactly.
Okay, I gotta say, this tech is blowing my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Insoftex also mentions blockchain technology for
Mhm.
supply chain management.
Yeah.
I know blockchain is like a really hot topic right now,
Yeah.
but how does it actually apply to agriculture?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
So it creates a secure and transparent record of every step in the food supply chain.
Oh.
So imagine being able to track a head of lettuce from the farm where it was grown
Wow.
all the way to the grocery store shelf.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's like total traceability.
Exactly.
How does blockchain actually make that possible?
So basically, it's a decentralized digital ledger.
Yeah,
Every transaction or piece of information is recorded as a block,
got it.
and it's linked to the previous block,
Okay.
forming a chain.
So like a digital fingerprint that can't be faked.
Exactly.
Ah.
And this makes it perfect for tracking food products, ensuring that they're authentic, and reducing fraud.
So if I see a label at the store that says organic or fair trade blockchain, can I actually back that up?
Precisely.
That's amazing.
Consumers want to know where their food comes from.
Right.
So blockchain gives them that transparency and accountability.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Insoftex's work with smart irrigation systems.
Okay.
Water conservation is obviously a big deal, especially in agriculture.
Yeah.
How are they using tech to address this challenge?
So they develop AI-powered systems that are way smarter than like traditional timers.
Okay.
They use sensors to monitor soil moisture weather forecasts, even like how stressed the plants are for water,
Okay.
and they adjust irrigation accordingly.
So instead of just like watering on a schedule,
Right.
the system knows when and how much water is actually needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about providing the right amount of water at the right time.
Which means less waste.
Right, and more efficiency.
Okay.
And it also helps to improve crop yields and reduce things like fertilizer runoff.
Which is good for the environment.
Exactly.
It seems like Insoftex is really leading the way here with
Yeah.
all these solutions to the challenges facing agriculture.
They're really pushing the boundary.
Yeah.
Their commitment to combining like cutting-edge technology with a deep understanding of agriculture is really cool.
Now, all this sounds great,
Yeah.
but are there any like downsides or challenges to think about as agriculture relies more on technology?
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Like with any revolution, there are always challenges.
sure.
One concern is cost.
Okay.
Small-scale farmers might not be able to afford these systems.
So access to technology could become like a barrier?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's really important to make sure that these technologies are accessible to all farmers.
Not just the big companies.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are there any other concerns?
Another challenge is just like information overload.
Okay.
With all these sensors collecting data,
Yeah.
it can be really hard for farmers to make sense of it all.
So it's not enough to just have the technology.
Right.
You have to know how to actually use it.
Exactly. Yeah, it highlights the importance of education
Okay.
to help farmers really use these tools.
What about data security?
Right.
With all this information being shared, how do we know it's safe?
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
Agricultural data needs to be protected from hacking and unauthorized access.
Okay.
Agritech companies need to prioritize cybersecurity.
To protect the farmers and their data.
Exactly.
Those are all really important things to consider.
Yeah.
It seems like the future of agriculture is not just about the technology,
Right.
but also how we use it
Exactly. Finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
to make a food system that really works.
Yeah, one that's sustainable and resilient.
We've talked about a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From the basics of ag software
Hmm?
to the solutions being developed by companies like Insoftex.
Yeah,
We even talked about some of the challenges and ethical considerations.
definitely.
So let's finish up by revisiting some of the key takeaways
Okay.
and leaving you with a question to think about.
Sounds good.
It's amazing, right? Like, we've spent all this time talking about Agritech, and it's so much more than just a bunch of gadgets out in the fields.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really changing how we grow food.
Totally. And it affects everyone.
We've seen some really incredible stuff.
We have.
Those monitoring platforms from John Deere are wild.
Oh, yeah?
And Trimble's tools for cutting down on waste.
So precise.
And AgriSync's virtual help desk.
It feels like we're just getting started, though.
I think so, too.
Like there's so much more to come.
Companies like Insoftex are really pushing things forward.
They are.
Creating custom solutions, even bringing in blockchain.
That's next level stuff.
But we also got to remember those challenges we talked about.
Yeah, of course.
Making sure small farms don't get left behind.
Right.
Helping farmers actually use all this data.
And keeping it safe.
Exactly.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. It's like with any powerful tool,
You got to use it the right way.
to build a food system that actually works for everyone.
One that's good for the planet, too.
Okay, so for everyone listening, here's something to consider.
Okay.
You know all this stuff about the digital revolution in agriculture now.
Yeah,
So what are you going to do about it?
that's the question.
Are you going to look for food brands that use blockchain?
For that transparency we talked about.
Yeah, or support policies that help all farmers get access to this tech.
Right.
Maybe you'll even work in this field someday.
It's a growing industry, for sure.
The future of food is happening right now,
It is.
and we're all a part of it.
We are.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
Hope you learned something.
We hope it gave you a new way of looking at things.
That's what we're here for.
Until next time, keep learning
Keep asking questions.
and stay curious.
See you next time.